In court in Germany, a Chinese spy arrives to hear his fate. Jian G is suspected of gathering intelligence for Beijing for around 20 years, spying on targets both in Germany and at the heart of European politics. Today, he was sentenced to almost 5 years in jail. The prosecutor said this was one of the most serious cases of Chinese espionage in Germany, and much of the evidence relates to the 5 years that Jian G worked as a political assistant in European Parliament, passing information to China. Now, Beijing categorically denies spying on Europe, but this case is a reminder of the power of the regime. While working as an aide to this man, far-right AfD politician Maximilian Krah, prosecutors say G used his job to gather intel on European parliamentary discussions. Krah denies any wrongdoing. Raiding their Brussels offices last year, Jian G was accused of crimes, including accessing 500 documents illegally and spying on Chinese dissidents. To Berlin-based activist Amy, the monitoring of opponents is no surprise. She says there's a cost to criticizing the regime.
If I went back to Hong Kong now, it would be a one-way ticket to prison. I quite expect to be arrested right at the airport.
Are you ever safe?
No. The length that the Chinese regime would go and how systematically they plan this whole thing is really beyond the imagination of many of us. We are simply not vigilant enough. And I hope this Jian G case would ring the alarm bells.
Also found guilty today, co-defendant Jackie X, who got a shorter suspended sentence for feeding Jian G details of military passengers, cargo and weapons shipments at Leipzig airport. One of Germany's regional spy chiefs told me China are sophisticated players.
The Chinese are very creative in planting their spies and information sources and others. That's not surprising, but that, of course, the European Parliament didn't have the right security measures to at least check on their staff. That was something that surprised me very much.
In a statement, the Chinese Ministry of Foreign Affairs says China firmly opposes the sensationalization of the so-called Chinese spy threat and urges the relevant parties to cease spreading rumors, slandering and smearing China. But as Jian G begins his jail term, the question remains how a Chinese spy got a job at the centre of European politics and managed to stay undetected for so long. Siobhan Robbins, Sky News, Dresden.